So Foxy here with the first Fearless Action Hour. We are at the bottom of the hour and we got 5 magic minutes. So is there anything that anyone in the room would like to talk about, and I can support you with being fearless?
Well, it is the last day of September.
It is.
And in the community, that means that we're wrapping up the month of courage. And I keep like wanting to think about how can I be like fearless and being courage in having courage today, right? Because it's the last one. Like I love to like do all or nothing. I'm kind of an all or nothing person. So like at the end of a month, especially when we're talking about like our topics and our themes, I'm always like, how can I like do it so much justice on the last day to like send it off? And I'm not really sure like what the question is, but like, what would you think about, you know, I don't know, like having the courage to like be extra fearless today with it being the last day in that topic?
I mean, I would say take a risk. So we talk a lot about baby steps, you know, a little step into your stretch zone, a little step into your stretch zone, slowly expanding your comfort zone. But if you, I would say from what you're saying, I would say jump into the risk zone, and just do something a little bigger. You know, if there's something you've been pushing off, there's something that you've been you know, talking about for a long time and you still haven't gotten around to it, something like that. You know, like I talked about getting on TikTok for I don't know how long, and then the other day I finally did my first TikTok. You know, so something like that, something that you've been resisting, and you know, take a big step today. You know, Kelly and I were talking about feelings, and I know Beck, you and I have talked about feelings. And you know, is there a feeling that you've been avoiding? You know, or is there judgment around a feeling that yeah, Beck's learning about feelings. Is there a feeling that you've been judging yourself around and creating stories around, and can you look at that and really let go of the story and the judgment around that feeling and just experience the feeling as energy, you know, and just let it go through you? You know, that would be really a really fearless, courageous act as well. You know, so anything that keeps coming up for you, anything that you know, keeps coming to mind, maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's you know, something else, just you know, something that keeps coming up. Take a step, take a risk today on that.
Yeah.
Hello, Julianne.
Yeah, I love that. I'm gonna think tank that in the next hour to see where I can really step out and take my risk, because I'm like excited just thinking about it as you're talking about like get into the risk zone. I'm like, yeah, how can I do that today? I need to take action in that energy for sure.
Awesome. I like it. Yeah. So right now we are doing our mastermind time. And then when we flip to the beginning of the next hour, then we'll start with our celebrations.
Okay.
So Kelly, did you have anything you wanted to add? No, you're good.
No.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, I'm going to pause this. We are going to mastermind. So this is the top of the second Fearless Action Hour here with Foxy. That's what we called me. We called me Foxy. And we can mastermind about anything you would like to be more fearless at, or anything that you have coming up right now. Anybody got something? Mm,
Oh,
no.
finishing up my taxes.
Finishing up your taxes.
Yeah,
All right. So
I don't like that.
don't like that. Why?
Well, because I've got to, I'm not sure I have all the materials I need. Usually it's I've been doing it forever. It's a pretty quick process, but I fear that my accounting program, which crashed a few months back, I didn't get all of my 2020 information out of it before it went goodbye. So I'm just fearing there's a lot of other things. Anyway, but I've not been getting into it. I've been waiting till the almost literal last minute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So is there a small, tiny baby step that you could take that will put you in the motion of getting into it?
I have it on the calendar for Saturday. So whatever, because I have to calendar things, otherwise I don't even think about them.
I hear ya.
Yeah, so yeah, to at least, start. I can always start,
Yeah.
even if I need to tie up loose ends. So it's
Yeah.
just, that's kind of you got to get the momentum going. That's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that you have a time set aside to do it. So that is a step out, right? Because
Mhm.
before you were avoiding it at all, right?
Mhm.
And now you have a set time set aside to work on it. So the
Mhm.
next step will be when it's time to sit down and work on it,
Mhm.
that you do.
Right.
Right. And another step is that you stay there and you keep working on it.
Mhm.
Right. So, I mean, that's how, our little steps can take us in the direction that we want to go. Right. And it's
Mhm.
acknowledging all of those steps along the way. So when it's on your schedule to sit down, you acknowledge yourself that you sat down. You acknowledge yourself that you stayed. You acknowledge yourself that you opened it up, that you looked at it, that you saw that you do have everything, that you put everything in place. Like every step along the way, you can celebrate it. You can
Mhm.
acknowledge it because you continue to choose to do the thing that you've committed yourself to do.
Mhm.
And believe it or not, it makes a huge difference if you acknowledge every little step instead of just giving yourself credit for the end product. Acknowledge yourself. I got my taxes done. No, there were like 50 million choices in between those two steps,
Mhm.
right? That we can acknowledge ourselves for and celebrate that we kept at it. Yeah. So I love that. I love that. Anybody else have something they want to share with Julianne? See,
Nope.
I pass my taxes off to someone else.
I was just gonna say.
That's what I do. I
Yeah.
pay a man, and he does it all for me. He gets done like that, and my money comes. But see, also, I get money. So I totally understand when people avoid doing it because then they have to pay money.
Mhm.
So, so I get where resistance would be if it's the other way around. I get a ton of money because I have a ton of kids, so I get money back.
Mhm.
And so I want that money. So like come January, I'm like, I need an appointment with my CPA.
Yeah. Well, mine is more, it just takes a lot of, even when I had a CPA doing it for me, I've always had I've had my own business for over 30 years. So, but I used to have to compile the information to give to the CPA. And then I realized she was charging me a lot of money for some things that I could probably do myself. And then I just started doing them because it was easy. But what's not easy is that it's so boring.
Yeah.
It's not hard, it's just tedious. So eventually I'll be having someone else do that for me. But right now, this is the way it is. Next year,
Yeah.
I've got hope.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pass it off to
definitely.
someone.
Yeah. I work with I have a program that keeps track of everything, and I just have to go in personal business, right? Swipe one way or the other for the expense. And then at the end of the year, it prints everything up and that goes to my CPA. So yeah, so there's different ways we can make it easier for ourselves,
Mhm.
right? Because You know, doing our taxes is not the best use of our time,
No,
right?
it's not.
So yeah, Katarina teaches us about that for sure. Okay, we are over time. I apologize. So I'm gonna. Okay, so we are back at the bottom of the second Fearless Action Hour. And unless someone has something that they want to talk about, how they can get more fearless at it, I have a quote, but I want you guys to go first. Anybody? Okay, then I will do the quote. So the subject, this is Peaceful Living by Mary McKenzie. I read it every morning. I do my morning routine. And it's a daily book. So today is December 30th. And its subject is continuing to move forward. And the quote I really like today is, they have only stepped back in order to leap farther. So I like that, because sometimes when we jump, we kind of need to get the momentum of going backwards, right? And so there's a lot of times where we feel like we're going backwards, yet it's assisting us in taking those big leaps forward. And so acknowledging everything that we're doing, not just what seems like it's forward movement, but that everything is assisting us in moving us forward. So I thought that was a really cool way to think of it. And one of the things she says is emotional growth isn't linear. So it's not a straight line. It's gonna, move however it moves, and you can't be behind or in front of, because it's not a straight line, right? So I thought that was really cool. Does anyone have any thoughts on that they'd like to share with us?
I love that emotional growth is not linear. It's interesting on this. I was on jury duty, and there was a woman who had been sexually harassed, and it had been pretty bad, and it took a toll on her. And she said, and then she would make comments like, well, her progress forward isn't really linear, and neither was the time that she was really suffering. So it's like good days, bad days, worse days, better days, all that kind of thing. And so it's funny that you should use that word again, because it just kind of brought that back. And that's something I've always experienced is sometimes you have like these big moments, these big epiphanies of, oh my God, and then other days it seems like, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, no 2 days are the same. And even if we think we don't like it that way, we do like it that way.
Mhm.
It would be quite boring if every day was exactly the same. And so one day we might be feeling on top of the world, and one day we may feel like the world is standing on top of us. You said Groundhog Day, but even then, every day was different. Okay. He did different things. So we might feel on top of the world, or we might feel like the world is on top of us, right? But it doesn't mean that we are moving backwards. It just means that this time is assisting us in moving forward. And we can't always be constantly stretching ourselves. We need to give ourselves that time to retract and rest and think and connect and go in, and go deeper. And then from that space, we can go back out. And even when we come in, what we've stretched is no longer as small, right? Like if you think of a rubber band, if you stretch out a rubber band, it doesn't come back to its original shape. It's bigger, and it's not going to go back to where it was. And so that's how we are as well. You know, we stretch ourselves out. We may come back in a little, but we are still farther stretched out than we were previously. And then we can go out even more. So that is my thoughts. All right, we are at the top of the third Fearless Action Hour. We have 4 minutes to mastermind. Does anyone have anything that they would like to talk about with being fearless? Anything?
I was gonna add from the last conversation that I
Yeah.
loved the part about I don't remember the exact words now, but it was like, the idea that, things are happening for us, for our greater good, for, it all matters is what I took from that. And that that's a huge piece of why we start out with celebrations in every single Zoom room that we're in. It's to set the tone, to set the energy, because whether we had something hard that we were dealing with or challenged with before, we can choose to step into a new energy and decide what we're going to move with from there. So that was something that came to me in the conversation from the last mastermind, was just that it all matters. And the days that it's hard, we're learning. And the days that it's a little bit easier, we're learning. And we need to keep focused on celebrating where we are having growth, because it is non-linear, right? It is all over the place, but there is growth opportunities in all of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Rhonda Britton says that there is no wasted time. So sometimes we feel like, oh, I wasted the last year because blah, 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 right? Or I wasted the last 20 years or whatever. But there is no wasted time. We're always growing. We're always learning. And whatever happened in that year or those 20 years, we needed to happen to become the people that we are. And, those experiences, so, the good, the bad that happened, it all was a part of the path that we are on to become the people that we are to become. So, yeah, I love that. And Alana, another member of OPWP, she has the coolest way of talking about it. She is your cha-cha change. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back, doing a little cha-cha, and seeing it as a dance, and that these are the steps that we take. We take 2 steps back and 1 step forward. We spin, we get dipped, whatever. Like, it's going back is not doing something wrong. It's what we're doing. It's what's supposed to happen. And so seeing life through that filter of that it's a dance, and every part of the dance has its purpose. And if you only went forward, then you would leave the dance floor pretty quickly, right? So
Love that.
Yeah, it makes me think of the song Dancing Through Life from Wicked. Like, I think about it every time. But I don't know if you guys are Wicked fans, but musical theater fans. That sounds funny, Wicked fans. It's a musical theater. It's a musical theater.
I'm familiar with Wicked. I have an appreciation for witches of all kinds.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we are at 10 after the hour. So I want to Hi, we are at the bottom of the third Fearless Action Hour, and I am here alone, yet I know you are watching. So I thought I would mastermind and share with you on how I use my OPWP journal. So OPWP, this is for September, courage. So I will get the October, I have it right here, the October journal. Tomorrow, I will start in here for October, where we are live on purpose with purpose. This month is courage. So there are daily things that I do. I don't do all the pages, but there are daily things that we do. So I record daily how I fuel my body. And this I actually do with on request of my health coach. I write down what I eat that's healthy for me. And then this month we had one-liners with where was I courageous today? So here are all the ways I was courageous. And then I also keep track of my habits. So here are all my habits. So when they're colored in, I did them. When they're not, I did not. So I did not do an awesome job with all of my habits, but it shows me, though it shows me, you know, where improvement can be had. And I might also be a little more hard on myself than I need to be, but that's my habit tracker. And then I haven't caught up with my mood tracker because I get behind, but here's my mood tracker. So here are all my different emotions. And then I keep track of my emotions for that day. And then there's lots of other pages that you can use to keep track of things. I don't use every page, but I definitely love to do the coloring pages. So here's one of my coloring pages. And then here are the intentions for the month in the different areas that I set at the beginning of the month. And yeah, and so then I'll show you here with the weekly calendar. I write down my must-dos, and then these are ideas for the day. Those particularly are TikTok videos that I want to make based off the response I got from my first TikTok video that I made. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, I am at Fearless Master Rockstar, Fearless Mastery Rockstar, something like that. You'll find me. And then I did some other coloring pages. There's also a lot of extra pages just like this that I know a lot of other people in the community use to keep track of anything that they do during the month. So here's some other coloring pages. So I actually haven't finished this one yet, but yeah. So I love my journal. It's it keeps me it gives me something to do when I just want something to do, like coloring, but it also helps me stay on task with the weekly aspect of it. And I have these little tabs so I can easily find the pages that I want. And it does a lot for me, you know. Here are my notes from the growth hour, because it also has the extra hours, the up level hours are in here, which I love. It says like when they are, because I kind of get, well, now with the calendar, I don't miss them, but I used to, because I would forget what days they were. But yeah, I love being able to have this on hand with me all the time. It's like you just have to carry around one thing, you know, and it ooh, look at these pages. So I haven't gotten to these ones yet either, My markers are kind of running out of ink because I use them so much. So I've been kind of holding back on the coloring this time around. So LT is in the house and it is 5 o'clock. So I am going to stop this recording. We will see you in the next Fearless Action Hours.